ఈ పనులు చూడండి.
like one watching now they with watch.
अरे ईयरफोन दे रे गौरव, ईयरफोन से
पाहिजे होतो असाच गेलो कसला गेलो म्हणून तू तुझ्या बहिणीला कसला गोष्ट करती असाच गोष्ट करती ना.
अरे नहीं खाता है जा काय छेड़ लाली बार बार चल अरे कसला छेड़ता रे लाउंडे
गांड फोड़तो मी लई होंगे लेची पगला लो. हाँ
मच्छी से रास्ता है.
चुप है चुप चल जा. ठंडा पानी का बॉटल है.
हाँ अंतर.
अंती नहीं तर
बाटेल दे।
चल रे चल निकाल चल।
निकाल हावला जल्दी निकाल मैंने हावला।
What is up, guys? My name's Pete from the Gaming Careers YouTube channel, and it's the kind of thing that we're going to be creating today. So as you can see in this scene, we've got a webcam, we've got our game, we've got an overlay, and we've got some text, which are the 4 different sources that we're going to be covering in this video. So it's worth quickly mentioning what the difference between a source and a scene is, because if you're new to OBS, you might not quite understand the terminology. If you look down in the bottom left, you can see that we can have multiple different scenes in our OBS window. A scene is basically a collection of sources, so you could have different scenes for different games if you're a variety streamer, or you could have maybe one which just has your webcam and chat on for if you're in between queues in a competitive game, but effectively a scene is a collection of sources that appear on screen together. So a source is effectively something that appears on screen within one of your scenes. So something like your video game, that would be a source, your webcam would be a source, your overlay and some chat or text, that could also be a source. So a source is something that appears on screen, and a scene is a collection of sources. So the first thing we're going to be covering in this video is how you add your video game to OBS. The first thing that you need to make sure that you have is your video game running on your computer. When you're in your video game, it's worth just quickly looking at your game settings. So if you go into your video options from within the game and see what you have selected for display mode. Typically, if you have it set to full screen, that should give you the best frame rates in-game, but it can give you some heavy delays when alt-tabbing, which is probably something that you're going to have to do a fair amount, especially if you only have a single monitor and you're going to want to be reading Twitch chat. If you are going to be alt-tabbing a lot, you don't have a second monitor that you can quickly refer to, then you're probably going to want to set the game to run in a borderless window. This basically makes the game seem like it's running full screen, but it's actually running in a window, so you can alt-tab much quicker, but it will be at the expense of some FPS loss. So now you've got your game running and you have your display mode set how you want it. You want to go back to OBS, and there's a few different methods that you can use to capture your game. Some methods work better than others, and it completely depends on the game. Since every game is coded differently by different companies, they may require slightly different setups in OBS. There's absolutely loads of information on the OBS forums, which I've linked in the description below. So if you're having issues with a specific game, make sure you go to the OBS forums and see if anyone else has had a similar issue. Now there are 3 different methods that I would recommend for capturing your game. I would start with game capture, and if that doesn't work, go to window capture, and if that doesn't work, finally go to display capture. I'm going to cover all 3 of them quickly now. So if we start with game capture, if you go down to the menu and click the plus icon, or you can right click and choose add, and we want to select game source. Here you can enter the name of the application if you want to. Start with and if that doesn't work, go to window capture, and if that doesn't work, finally go to display capture. I'm going to cover all 3 of them quickly now. So if we start with game capture, if you go down to the menu and click the plus icon, or you can right click and choose add, and we want to select game source. Here you can enter the name of the application if you want to. I would just recommend entering the name of the game that you're going to be capturing. Now the default mode that should pop up should say capture any full screen application. I've had some trouble with this. It doesn't seem to always be able to find my game running, so sometimes you'll have to change this mode to capture specific window and then select the right window in the drop down below. And you can leave the window match priority on executable name. Multi-adapter settings. This is an option if you're using multiple graphics cards, so something like Crossfire or SLI technology, then you want to be enabling this option just to get the full performance benefits of having multiple graphics cards. The force scaling option is useful for downscaling resolution, so
दे अरे दे रे और फटको चल
डिलीट कर देगा पबजी सेकंड स्पेस में हां चार्जिंग क्या हुआ इंडिया पे
पबजी के लिए चल चल काम कर और बोला पबजी खेलेंगे इंडिया के साथ कर चल चल
अबे बेबर्स लॉन्डी का
हावला हावला
वैसी
एक दिया ना साले चल
तुम्हारा है लॉन्डी के
और जोर से मार तुम काले चल हावला बड़े बातें कर रहा खेलता है इसमें कल ऑफलाइन रहते मैंने पूरे घालते मैं बार बार